Good. Your options.
Good morning, everyone. Our start is going to be a few minutes late because we are waiting to have our quorum. Right now we only have 2 and we need at least 3. So just bear with us and we will be with you hopefully in a few minutes. Thanks.
You're good.
Good morning again, everyone. We will start by singing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Unplugged somewhere.
No need to have that issue.
Okay, that's what I kind of was thinking. I think so. So I can't move my chair now, right?
Don't move.
I'm back.
Good, Mark?
Can you hear us now, Mark?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay.
Good enough.
I unplugged you, sorry. Okay, so I am looking for a motion to approve the agenda. Is that a motion for me, Warren?
Yeah. I'm waiting for Mark.
Mark, would you like to second that?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very good.
Warren made the motion to approve the agenda.
Yes, second.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. On to the consent items. Any questions?
To approve.
Thank you, Mark.
Second.
Second by Warren. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, so I think since we're behind schedule, we'll just leave the forum until later on in the meeting. So, first up is Rich.
There's no Mr. Reese today either.
He's coming.
Oh, I'll sit here so you can hear it better. Can you hear me okay, Mr. Holly?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have to sit at the head of the table? Okay, hey. Life's good.
You're good.
I'll be okay? Okay. So the first thing on the agenda was the NACO letters that were part of your packet. NACO sent those out requesting counties to adopt those letters or take those letters and make their own letter out of it and send it back to them showing support for transportation. And so I need approval for the chair to sign the letters. Or sign the letter.
Rich, this was the same as a year ago, correct?
I don't believe we had one a year ago. I think that was a different subject. This is just the House T&I is putting together their transportation bill for approval in the upcoming months, and so this is towards infrastructure spending and funding.
Okay, thank you. I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Mark and Warren, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. County ditch.
Yeah, so we have two county ditch petitions. One, I have the original with me. Did Kevin Knutson give you one, Warren? Or Kevin? Okay. So we have County Ditch 144's petition here. I have a photocopy of County Ditch 36's, and he's supposed to be mailing the original back to me so that I can get an original signature on it. But if we can get both approved, I can get your signature later. First one is County Ditch 144, half-mile of cleaning from Trunk Highway 9 and east. Survey and clean as needed. So that would be in your district.
Yeah, I'll move on that.
Warren? I'll second it. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The next one is County Ditch 36, runs along the south side of County State Highway 19 from the Moraine east. Looks like 3.5 miles, and so the request is to survey and clean as needed on that one as well.
Okay, so looking
I'll
for a motion.
move.
Thank you, Mark.
Second.
Seconded by Warren. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I
Okay.
can hear Rich voice, I can't hear others.
Okay, try and speak louder. Is that better?
Yeah,
Okay.
So the next is redetermination of benefits, county-owned ditches. So we've done the approval to redetermine benefits in the Sand Hill River Watershed District. We've had discussions and informational meetings in Group 3 and also discussions in Foston and Fertile as part of the Sand Hills. And we've also had a nice article in the Springs newsletter that went to everybody regarding redetermination of benefits of county ditches. So the info's been out for quite a while, and now is the time to determine whether or not we want to do groups 2, 3, and 4, get them on the schedule, and set the price for redetermination of benefits for the viewers from $3.87 dollars per acre down to $3.63 per acre countywide. Any questions?
So,
I think the meetings went well in Zone 3. A lot of concerned questions. The meetings went very well, and consensus, I feel, was to move forward is exempt from any and all assessments and/or charges on their lands. Even the state of Minnesota is not exempt from having to pay for redetermination. And I think it's important, as Ms. Cody brings up, there are other ditch systems in the county that have this problem, and I think it's something that needs to be looked at, because their water does drain into these ditch systems, and that's the big caveat, is if the water drains into, any water drains into the ditch system, they are accessible for that flowage and/or redetermination fees, as I read the statutes.
Do you want me to respond to that? Or, yeah, so, I mean, Brian Murphy and H2O Overviewers, this isn't the first time they've run across this. They've run across it many times. I've sent him the email. He's responded to the questions as far as the DNR is concerned. They know how to work with DNR lands to determine what their benefits are. And so it's not a surprise. And being where Miss Cody lives and all the ditch systems around that area and all the lands, yes. I mean, you have state and federal owned lands with the TNC refuge and the Rydell refuge and everything else, but the fact is the benefits for those ditches are over 100 years old. There's gaps, there's holes, there's everything else in those ditch systems benefits that would get straightened out at this point, and benefits would be applied to the state lands just like they would be applied to private land, and we would figure out based on that what everybody's payment would be and what everybody's benefits would be. So nothing has really changed with the facts that the DNR owns land. I mean, we've had I guess I had the question on the federal lands as far as the Nature Conservancy and what they had paid way back when into a pot of money to help pay for stuff like this. If there's the ability to use some of that funds to help pay for the lands that the feds own for this process, then it takes away from the privates being overtaxed for their lands as well. So it is what it is. So we have 120 systems, and I've had less than 10 phone calls when it comes to redetermination of benefits since we've started this discussion with the Sandhill and then had the meetings in Euclid and East Grand Forks. So I would think, I mean, it's time to move forward and get the rest of the county finished.
Rich?
Yes.
Does the county reserve the right to, let's say there's a ditch system that ends up looking like it's all messed up, i.e. Miss Cody's ditch system, does the county reserve the right to not redetermine that particular ditch system?
Well, you have until the final hearing to do whatever you're gonna do, and at the final hearing, you decide whether you're redetermining benefits on that ditch system or not. If you don't, then the cost of that was done for the redetermination process gets spread back over the old benefited area, whereas if you allow it to go through, then the cost gets spread over the new benefited area, which includes all those gaps and stuff like that that currently aren't paying into the ditch system. That is my understanding. Mr. Kolb from Rinky Noonan would probably have a legal answer to that. If that's a question you want answered, we can get that answer. But right now, all I know is you have up until you approve the final hearing to make changes or do stuff with the redetermination of benefits.
And that would potentially be, a year from now, or maybe longer, depending on the location of the ditch, correct?
Yeah, so group 2 would be in the summer of 2027. Group 3 would be in the winter of 27-28, and group 4 would be in the summer of 28. So it's over a year from now. It's basically 2 years from now. All we're doing today is saying we want to move forward with redetermining benefits and get a contract signed with H2 Overviewers to start the process.
Yeah. The payment, what's the county's procedure? Obviously, the landowner has the option to pay the fees. Let's say they own 100 acres, to pay the fee up front, or Sam, how would the county pay H2 Overviewers this money?
I'm sorry, Mark, I didn't quite get what you're asking, what the county's gonna pay or how they're gonna pay, I think.
So H2 Overviewers will bill as they go along with each group. So when they start group 2, group 3, and group 4, then as they move forward with their redetermination, they will send a bill into the county, okay? And then, so group 2's bill will get spread out over a year, let's say, because it's gonna take them that long to view group 2. And so it'll be a little bit at a time, and then at the end, the county will have paid X amount, $3.63 an acre for their viewing, and then that gets spread over the redetermination, and the landowners have the ability to either pay upfront, or the county board sets the time limit on the repayment. The last one we did was 10 years.
Okay. You answered my question. Overall, will the county sell bonds at the end to pay for this project, or what's finance's opinion?
We haven't had any discussion on it. I think it'll depend on the amount. If it goes normally with assessments, I think we just have to analyze it, but I don't think we've gotten that far yet.
Okay.
It's doable.
So,
The point with, as Mr. Sanders mentioned, the board also determines the length of time there would be likely some sort of interest add-on there. That may be affected by whether the county bonds for this or not.
I know the last one up by Gully, we didn't. So, but this is a larger, I guess it's all it'll all be determined on final cost and how the 5 of you want to pay for that when you know what the final cost is and what the repayment schedule looks like.
Okay, understand. I'll make a motion to go forward with the redetermination countywide as long as Ms. Cody's zone, which is what, 4 and 5, they have their public meetings also.
Yeah, I can second that.
Okay. Okay, so Michelle?
I just have a couple points that I'd like to make. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I appreciate Commissioner Holey's, thank you for the opportunity to speak. Thank you, Commissioner Holey, for making the comment about the fact that I believe I live in group 2, that we have not had an information meeting. I don't know that I feel an article in the newsletter is sufficient notice. We should have the opportunity to state our concerns. My other point of contention is as the federal land, our particular area is about 50% US fish. So if just doing the simple math, the project is $100,000 and their share is 50, the rest of us are going to be penalized and have to pay their 50. Which isn't the way it works, and there is no mechanism in place to protect us because we have the U.S. fish as neighbors. My other point is, even though it's $3.63 an acre, what about the right-of-way that has to be purchased? That is additional cost, can be far exceed the $3.63 per acre and the cost. I don't know that that there's been any estimate of what those costs will be. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak and state my concerns. As you know, I'm handy with an email, and it's my easiest way to communicate with you. But I do think that there should be some more information, especially to the groups surrounding Crookston, the center of the county. We haven't had the opportunity that the others have had, and we need that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, so all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Carried. Okay.
So that's the motion to move forward. Then you have the motion to approve signing H2O reviewers as the viewers for the drainage systems.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, I move.
Okay, Paul?
I'll second.
Second by Warren. Any other discussion? All those in favor of hiring H2O viewers, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay.
Okay, so when do you want to have a meeting in Mentor?
You pick it, I'll be there.
Oh,
Good.
give us some time. I'm assuming, let's let the farmers finish up their farming, so you want to do it with the beginning of November
Just before hunting would be great. First
or last of October?
Either one.
No?
No, first
Do you
week.
think it's gonna be later than that? Or,
Who knows? And I mean, like, there's sometimes that, we're still doing corn,
okay,
first part of November.
well, you pick a date.
I'm okay with the first week of
I think it's important to have it as late in November as possible, and it's also imperative that Mr. here, depending on his schedule. So why doesn't, Rich work with, this is how we did it for my zone. Rich worked with Brian, Mr. Murphy, and, on the venue and set the time, and it worked out well.
Are you guys meeting on November 18th?
Yes.
Yes,
You want to do it the afternoon of the 18th?
that'd be great. That week would be the acceptable week.
Otherwise, I was thinking the 17th or like the 26th, 27th, you know, the next week.
Well, that's
Well,
right the day
that's
before Thanksgiving,
People aren't
Oh,
gonna,
that's right, Thanksgiving. I was thinking
the
Thanksgiving.
week of 17.
I'll see if Brian can be here the afternoon of the 18th. And, if not, that day sometime that week,
Yep.
okay? And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, that could be at the community center. and that-
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, or if there's not snow on the ground, we can always have it at the county park. No, I'm kidding. Anyway. At the community center in Mentor, yes.
Okay. Well, I'll just kind of pencil it in.
Okay.
As tentative right now, and
Was there anything else on my agenda?
Limited site investigation.
Oh, yes, okay. So, back in the beginning of
Yeah,
August.
we did. Oh, no, not on the time.
The second part,
The second one, we didn't vote yet.
Oh,
there's
yes.
been a motion and a second, but nothing done as far as.
Okay.
part of this.
vote on that. Yeah, we did.
On the H2 overview.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we did vote on each
If I
vote.
remember right. He
Yes,
certainly
we
said
did.
that, so-
Okay.
Okay. It's a Monday.
So back in,
I know it's.
Yeah, look at it. I go to the wrong transfer station. What a freaking
there we
bonehead.
go. Back in July or August, we had fun. I can't remember the exact date, so all I know is a Sunday afternoon, after a lightning storm, our waste oil furnace had an issue and started calling for waste oil, and the waste oil return line was plugged, and so we ended up with waste oil all over the place within the vehicle storage, which then seeped out, ran down the parking lot and into catch basins. And so we had to have somebody clean it up real quick. And so between MPCA and emergency management, we got West Central to clean it up starting that night at 9:30 and then the following day at 11, and it was all cleaned up. Well, through the whole process, MPCA has concerns that we lost 500 gallons of waste oil someplace because West Central says they only cleaned up X amount of waste oil, and our tank said that we had an extra 500 gallons that they didn't clean up in it. And so we need to hire a consultant to come in and do more in probing to determine whether or not we have another 500 gallons of waste oil sitting out there someplace that nobody knows where it's at. And so as part of MPCA's process, I had to get at least 2 quotes. So I got a quote from West Central, the ones that did the cleanup, and I also got a quote from Widseth here in town because they were a MPCA approved consultant for that type of work as well. And so you have the 2 RFPs in front of you. West Central is about exactly 2,000 less than Widseth. Widseth being local, West Central being out of the Morris area and the Twin Cities. So, on my sheet, I recommended West Central just because they were low, not necessarily because they would be the easiest to work with or the most efficient. We've always had the policy that when doing work like this, if a local agency or dealer is within X amount of dollars, you have the right to choose either or. It won't matter whether you choose either or. If you want to choose with us, that's fine with me. I know the ones that will be doing the work, and we work well together. Everything's getting submitted to insurance, and insurance is paying it. We've already paid our deductible. This is the cheapest part of the whole process so far. So, any questions?
So, in other words, what we're
Rich,
trying to do is find that
West
extra 500.
Central did the cleanup, correct?
West Central did the original cleanup, correct?
And the EPA, the state EPA is wondering where those, missing gallons went, correct?
If there is any missing gallons, yes, they are wondering where they went. I can't get, from everything that we've seen and looked at, we don't think there's 500 gallons missing, but in order for them to sign off on our cleanup, we need to do this process, and therefore, we need to have somebody come out and do a limited site investigation to determine if there was 500 gallons missing, and if there is, where it went.
And I understand that. My point is, hiring, the cleanup company to do this, would it, be a negative, for the county, dealing with the state EPA, so forth and so on? Or would the company be better off, hiring Winsett, to do it?
So I don't think it's gonna matter, both of them are on the MPCA's list, so we can hire either one. It's just one is local, one is not, and the local one is $2,000 higher than the not. That's the only question. If we were gonna go after the super fund for paying back the county, then we would have to go with West Central since they're the low. But since we're using our own insurance company, we don't have to worry about it, and therefore you can choose who you want.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, I think what he was wondering is it gonna look bad if we hire the other group and not the one that did the cleanup? That's what
Or hire the one, I don't think it's gonna matter one way or the other.
okay.
Yep.
I'll move to hire West Central.
No second.
Okay, so Mark and Paul,
Yep.
any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That must be it. What's that?
Yes, go back a few pages.
Is that what I,
For Nicole.
oh, yep. I thought it was West Central, it was West Polk County. There we go. Okay,
I have one question.
yes,
Number 12, when are they starting? I'm getting 1,000 questions.
7 o'clock this morning.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know the signs are up, but the sign's
The
been
signs have been
been
out
out
for a
there
month.
for 3 months.
Yeah.
When I went through.
And then, does that include a bike path from Fertile to Mentor?
No, it does not.
Okay?
Because this stretch, so this stretches from Fertile to 41,
Yep.
okay? Then the next stretch that we're gonna grade widen is from 41 to the Pavilion.
To the Pavilion.
And that's the one we tried to get state alternative transportation funding for a bike path from Maple Bay to the Pavilion.
And it didn't happen.
And it didn't happen.
Okay.
And I've had a good discussion with the people that reviewed the proposal and request. And one of the things the county should do and will have to do in order to get the money is put together a trail plan, saying this is our grand scope of what we would like to see as a trail network,
Okay.
and how it's gonna benefit the residents of Polk County, and how it's gonna provide a more safe way for them to either bike or walk. And so I'm working on, we'll do that later this fall.
Sure.
I have also asked the Maple Lake Association to do the same, and we'll talk to the Union Lake people to do the same for their lake.
They're the ones that are asking me.
And so, as far as Union Lake, when we overlaid County Road 42, we paved the shoulders wider to allow them the ability to walk along the edge of the road, just to start that process or give them that ability. That was the easiest way to do that. For this Maple Lake one, we're asking for an off-road
Sure.
multi-use trail for
Okay.
biking and walking because of the higher traffic, et cetera.
All
So,
right. Thank you. That answered my question.
okay. Any other questions?
You took care of the phone call that I texted you about?
Took care of that phone call. Probably, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
anything else?
Not today.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
Huh?
Yeah.
What time are you supposed to start?
Come on.
That's late.
I'm here to present to you our 2026 budget request for county support. I did put this package together and it was sent out a week ago. In the cover letter itself, we are asking that we receive the same allocation as we did last year of $50,000. And that was very helpful for the district, as we were able to actually put that money towards staff time on those county programs, which is the Wetland Conservation Act and the Local Water Management, as they're historically always been underfunded. But also what's been nice is that we were actually able to do a billboard. It's mentioned in the cover letter. So through the cooperative weed management area, we put a announcement on the digital billboard by East Grand Forks and Foston about wild parsnip. So that 50,000 went towards to pay for that. Also, it helps out with our volunteer climatology program. We have about 6 people throughout West Polk that are our volunteers, staff time, supplies for that. Also, we have, new now is our free water testing clinics that have really taken off. We've had 3 of them and it's part of the packet too. That's actually, through that 50,000, we've been able to pay for staff time, supplies, and even some test kits. And I can get into that a little bit more once I get through the numbers. And then also the youth scholarship too was very helpful. That's also part of the packet, which our deadline to apply for that was the 25th last week. So moving forward, you can look at our budget that's proposed for 2026. In the revenue category, we have the 50,000 allocation and also the Natural Resource Block Grant County match, which that's an invoice that's sent to Chuck at the end of the year for time for the year, for this year. And otherwise, everything else on here primarily is for staff time. It's the grants that we manage, except for conservation contracts, it's cost share technical assistance and cost share payments to the landowner. Also, the One Watershed, One Plan, 85% of that goes to our landowners for projects, engineering, construction. And same with the soil health delivery grant, about 85% of that goes to the landowner for soil health practices. So our total revenue projected at 586,490 for 2026, and then you can see for our expenses, our district operating expense, our tree program, And then, of course, all those grants that we get from the state. This tree program is the only program that generates revenue for the district. It's not grant funded. So what we like to also include is the ROI, as we call it, more or less shows each county tax dollar invested in what the SWCD leverage. You can see that it will match the budget numbers that have been placed in here. But it also goes to show that we also receive monies from the Red Lake Watershed District. They will submit us up to $12,500 to help cost share on projects throughout their watershed district. And then also the Sandhill Watershed District also has a pot of money that they offer cost share on projects, and that's up $16,500. So, any questions on my budget numbers and ROI? Okay, let's go to more exciting things. The college scholarship, we were really,
Want to scroll down?
oh, I'm sorry, I do this probably every time. I'm sorry. We've never done a scholarship like this before in the 30 years I've been with this outfit, so we're pretty excited that we're able to offer this. So we got 2 college scholarships, one for ag, one for natural resources. And the deadline was last week, as I mentioned, and the requirements for both of these is that the resident is of West Polk County, and the college must offer an undergraduate or technical degree in ag science or natural resources, as the other one will state. And the student must have completed 1 semester of college before awarded this grant. That's just for accountability to make sure that they're totally interested. I hate to send money and then have it not go towards what we want it to. And then looking at the eligible schools is East Grand Forks, Climax, Shelley, Crookston, Fisher, Sacred Heart, and then, I have East Grand Forks and East Grand Forks, Sacred Heart. And we just have a QR code. They can apply online. It's a Google form. It's really easy to do. So, and I'll find out when I was gone last week. I'll find out. I'll go in there and look at those sheets and see how many have applied. So
Riverside School included in that?
Who?
Riverside School in East Grand Forks?
No.
It's a broken school there.
I didn't know any. Riverside, you said?
I think that's the name.
East Side? East
Yeah.
Grand Forks? I could surely put it on there.
But they do call it their K through 12.
Really? Did not know that.
Very small school, but
There should still be included. All right, Riverside. Thank you. All right. And then.
It'll be too late for them for this year.
Right, it'll be next year. Yep, it'll be next year. Thanks for telling me that. And then most exciting for us too is this new Minnesota Groundwater Initiative, Well Aware Water Testing Clinics. Sent in the packet, you can see that we've now held 3 clinics, but we've also partnered with Polk, Norman, and Monoman County Health. Sarah Reese and Sarah Kay, because I can not remember how to pronounce her last name and I don't want to offend her, have a Healthy Homes, how do you say that? Thank you. Has a Healthy Homes grant, and Sarah Reese is part of our steering committee, and she got a hold of the group and said, we have a grant, we've got some funding, let's do something, and we partnered up, and so they've been able to utilize their grant funding towards these water testing clinics and buying the test kits. And so now we have moved forward to a mitigation plan, and then we continue to at least do 2 clinics, my hope, 2 clinics in every county in the Northwest. So, and also through this new initiative, we now partnered with the University of Minnesota through Extension, and then now we've partnered through Department of Health, as we're having a private well focus group meeting tomorrow in Erskine. And then we'll be also working with U of M to do another training coming up next spring. So it's taken off really well. I'm very happy to see that, people are responding, and the need is definitely out there to get your well tested. At this point in time, we do not receive the information from Department of Health, as we consider that private information. But we do know through what's available on Department of Health's website, arsenic is a concern in this area. And then also, what we're doing through this is able to help out the West Central Regional Water District that's working on bringing water into Minnesota, so.
So on the Grigla ones, who paid for those tests?
Those were paid for through Polk County Health and Norman. So they're out of their region, and they said they can still use it. They talked to their grantor and said that they were able to use their funding in that area, so. No, I'm really happy about that. I'm very fortunate.
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
You're gonna have to talk up some more in your.
Hi, Mark. All right, I'll try to find my information. I have 4 agenda items this morning. The first one is a eligibility worker replacement. We had an eligibility worker retire, or not retire, resign. And we're requesting approval to fill the vacant eligibility worker position in our income maintenance unit and any internal subsequent vacancies that may result from this action.
I'll move.
Okay, Warren.
Second.
Thank you, Mark. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. The next on the agenda is a contract that we have with Deed to provide SNAP employment and training services in the amount of $3,222. This is a new contract for us. It's effective starting October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. When I say new, I don't mean new. We've had this for many years, but it's a new calendar year for us because it starts October 1st. So they provide our orientation and assessment and employment plans, and they communicate with our eligibility workers regarding program compliance. So I'm looking for approval of the contract with the Department of Employment and Economic Development in the amount of $3,222 for the period of October 1st, 2025 through September 30th, 2026.
I'll move.
Warren? I'll second it. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. The next 2 agenda items are, one is a contract that we have with the Department of Human Services for our Adult Mental Health Initiative and our Community Support Plan. This is the contract that you guys had approved. It's a 2-year contract, and so it's effective through this year and next year. But what happened was LUMA needed to change some service codes. They needed to move some money. And so whenever we move money within a grant, we have to have an amendment to our contract. So this contract is in the same amount of dollar amounts, but it's to reallocate funds to a new service code within the existing contract. So I'm requesting board action to approve the reallocation of funds within the existing contracts for 2025. The contract amount that we have for Adult Mental Health Initiative is $1,461,298, and for our community support contract, it's $431,080. So again, it's just to shift service codes to better align with the client needs that Illuma has identified.
Looking for a motion.
I'll move.
Warren?
Second.
Seconded by Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
All right, so the final agenda item that I have then is we just approved transferring those service codes with our contract with the Department of Human Services. So then I needed to bring forward the contract that we have with Aluma, and it is for the same thing. So we already have an existing contract for 2025 with Aluma to provide adult mental health and community support services, but we needed to reallocate funds within the service codes so that they could better serve the clients that they have. So I'm looking for board approval for the contract that we have with Aluma to reallocate funds within the existing 2025 budget. The reallocation is intended to better align services with client needs. The amendment does not change the total contract amounts with Aluma, which is $711,544 for adult mental health initiative contract and $431,080 for the community support plan.
So moved.
Paul? Second by Warren. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. That is all. I'll get to the end for Sarah here.
Can I do it again?
I don't know what's going on.
I have a short video. Can I play that? Will that work?
What's that?
I have a short video here. Will I be able to play that or will it not work? Okay, we'll give her a try. If it doesn't work, we'll go to plan B or C or whatever plan we need.
Any plan will work.
Any plan, any plan. Do you want me to wait till Jones is back? Okay.
If it doesn't work, Sarah, paint a visual picture for us.
Oh, brother. I don't know if I've had enough coffee for that yet, but.
No acting either.
Yeah, you certainly don't want me doing that.
We could not do justice to it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yes.
Okay. So I just, I said, so you do this, I just thought I would. But we're in the training. Thank you.
We're good.
Okay. Can I move my chair now?
To be determined.
Y'all got it.
Yeah, we'll just see if it works. It's all good. Okay, good morning. This is Holly Pliley.
Hi.
Holly recently was promoted to our nursing supervisor position, so I'm happy that she's able to join us today. She has been working deeply with the project that we're presenting this morning. Public health work happens, of course, through collaboration, and this is a fine example of a collaboration that started out as a what-if idea and definitely has brought lots of maybe what I would call non-traditional public health partners together. So you can see we've been working across with Grand Forks Public Health, the East Grand Forks Heritage Foundation, the Grand Forks Historic Preservation Commission, Grand Forks County Historical Society, and many other families and folks who are polio survivors. And so it all started with this iron lung. And before we show you the quick video that we put together, and by we, I mean through a partnership, do you want to just talk about how the iron lung came to be?
Sure. So got, I don't remember if it was an email, a text, or a call from Shaylee Miller, who does communications for Grand Forks Public Health, that she, as we all do, was perusing Facebook Marketplace the evening before and found that this iron lung was for sale in Grand Forks. And we wanted to have a discussion about how it could become ours. so that we could use it for education. So we reached out together to some local historical societies, and the East Grand Forks one was interested in purchasing it. So we worked together with them and hauled this 800-pound iron lung into the Heritage Village, and had the great opportunity to create a lot of education surrounding it, and had a lot of, was present for their 50th anniversary this year. And had a lot of great conversation with folks around, all the way from little kids who would have no experience with this at all, to our folks with some more age that had lots of experience and lots of knowledge about polio and how it affected their family members and friends. So it was a great opportunity, and worked with Media Ranch in Grand Forks to prepare a video with local survivors of polio, so that and Dr. Brousseau, who once worked for Altru, about polio. So I'd love to show it to you guys. It's about 4 minutes.
We're gonna try and show it to you because it's incredible. So, I'm gonna hope that it works. Let's hope that it works. Oh, just gotta give it just needs a little coffee like the rest of us.
So
here we go.
Shaylee created this page housing all the written stories and this video about polio. So
in addition to the video, there is additional
some people didn't want to be
stories,
in a video
yes.
and chose to be anonymous. So
Yeah, I did read the
yeah, and I have these little bookmarks as well, if you guys want one. So
Shows that
this
it's loading.
QR code links to this very page.
I wonder if I could get to it from, well, either way, it's gonna go back to this video, or this page for the video, right?
Yeah.
It's thinking.
Do you think we should try to copy and paste it into like the Google?
You can try it in
Browser?
right now. Edge, I tried it in Google Chrome.
Sorry. Is there,
Use the search bar
Yeah,
and type
that's
in
okay.
Google.
I can't.
There you go.
I don't have the,
Chrome.
I'm like, I cannot type anything in. I can only copy and paste for you.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
There we go. Okay, thank
I
you.
can't click on it for you.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Hello.
Just might not work.
The internet in here is very slow.
Okay. Well, we'll give it one try. You just have to talk nicely. Here we go.
Don't sign in.
I'm darting people's heads. So
Yeah.
sorry to be that. You're good. Okay, here we go.
I don't know if it'll make a difference or not.
Yep, can you push enter? Thanks.
Stuck on it. There you go.
Round 2.
How many county leaders does it take?
Yes. Teamwork here. Teamwork here.
Yeah. It's not looking good. Oh, something? Well, maybe I'll just talk a little bit about this iron lung. So this iron lung was stamped with the March of Dimes stamp, and we don't know what year it's from. And so the iron lung was debuted in 1928 in Boston Children's Hospital. developed by Harvard faculty. It worked similarly to a vacuum in that it created and released pressure around the body to force air in and out. Because polio is caused by a virus that affects nerves in the spinal cord or brainstem, and sometimes that would cause paralysis in limbs, respiratory paralysis, or death. So there was polio outbreaks in the 40s and 50s when the vaccine came out in 1955. It was monumental, and by 1957, cases had fallen from 58,000 to 5,600, and by 1961, there was 161 cases only remaining. So, very cool piece of history, and had lots of generational story sharing that happened at Heritage Village. That was really cool. So, if you guys get the chance to watch that video another time, please do.
Yes, it's 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's like 4 minutes, yeah.
But it features an individual from East Grand Forks, an individual from Grand Forks, the provider, and then on the website, of course, there's additional stories. But it's a pretty powerful message talking about their experience.
Yeah.
So it's close to home.
One of the gentlemen owns Lumber Mart that experienced polio, and it was a very emotional experience for him to share his story. So, yep.
So was it an individual that owned the iron lung?
So this iron lung, it was a son of a gentleman. It's kind of sounded like from an estate sale that so he had no history on it. But yeah, it was weird. It was so cool too.
It was also
a nerdy moment for me. But the towels even that were like still present in the iron lung, like you could see there had been human filth still on them. Like it was pulled out of somebody's use and it sat in storage in a storage trailer. So, yeah. But it still sits at Heritage Village. So, yeah.
We're hoping if there's other opportunities in the future, and there's various other medical related agencies that have affiliations with the Heritage Village as well, and so there's opportunities for learning or health tours or those sorts of things as well for into the future.
The difficult thing is that it weighs 800 pounds.
Yes, yeah, it can't just be brought anywhere, yes.
Yeah, 'cause I mean, that's the iron lung tour, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. I think, like to get it to the east side of the county would be great.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just picturing it like in the bank where the pictures of hope were.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Yeah, and I don't think ideas are off the table,
No.
but yes, it is large and in charge, so it takes a little coordination.
Yeah, I think it could happen. I think that was our intention all along, and Heritage Village is open to that idea of us taking it out for education purposes as well, so.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, I think, you know, there are people that can relate to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mark.
I'll make a comment. I think there's the polio is part of our history and so forth and so on. And the other one that's near and dear to me is ALS. And according to my doctors in Rochester, ALS has historically averaged about 5,000 new patients per year. And over the last, since COVID, that number has jumped to well over 15,000. Matter of fact, Sanford in Fargo is overwhelmed with the amount of ALS patients, and there's a direct tie to our agricultural community with chemicals, my personal story, and also there's, according to doctors in Rochester, a direct tie to the COVID vaccine. And to do a video on ALS.
I personally, am in a coffee group with that lumber mart.
Oh, you are?
Bob, and he's talked about it several times now. In his history, he spent his youth years in what, sanatorium, was that what you call it? Yeah, and he, well, very long, hard years there. But he recovered to the point where he played goalie for the University of North Dakota, and he won the
Yes.
national championship. And,
He shares a story in that video about being in one of those places and going to bed, and the young boy next to him, when he woke up, the bed was rolled up, and he knew that he had died, and nobody spoke about it, but he just knew, you know. So it's a really powerful video. So yeah.
Cool.
well, I'll see him on Thursday morning.
Yeah, please tell him that we are so grateful for his message. So yeah.
Yes, we appreciated him sharing his story. That's not an easy thing to do. And also it's sharing history so that we can be informed for the future. So, okay, thank you. The next item here is along the same lines, but slightly different. We receive a report from the Minnesota Department of Health, which is an annual summary of reportable diseases. And the data that we receive takes a bit for them to analyze and make sure all of the data is appropriate and timely. And so the report that was just released this year is actually for 2023. We really look at reportable diseases in terms of trends. So we're not looking at it year by year. We obviously are looking at it year by year, but we're really looking at it in 5-year spans, 10-year spans, because reportable diseases, you're not looking at it onesie twosies, you're looking at it over time. And so, of course, assessment of the population's health is one of our core public health functions, and surveillance is one of those main areas. The Minnesota Department of Health is the one that collects information about infectious disease statutorily, and so there is communicable disease reporting that's centralized and required. You can see the Minnesota rules listed here for reference. And there's additional information, of course, available on the MDH website, but what we wanted to do here was just highlight some select reportable communicable diseases that we saw for the Northwest region. We don't get the report even for our county. It comes for our Northwest region, which actually does make a lot of sense just because people live, work, and play sort of across the region. And so this just gives you a synopsis of what we're seeing. In 2023, still COVID rang as the highest reportable disease. So that just really shows there. It was the highest in our region. It was also highest in the state. Closely behind this, these are all alphabetized, I do believe. But if you search them by prevalence, chlamydia is the very next highest for our region, so right here. And then if you pair also gonorrhea and syphilis, those are areas of concern which we have been doing more testing for, connecting individuals to clinical services, whether that's our own or a primary provider of their choice. Those are not new, but of concern for us. And I'm going to turn it over to Holly to just highlight some of the other communicable diseases. Prior in her other role, she was the disease prevention and control coordinator, and so she is closest to these topics, far closer to them than I. So I'm going to just turn it over to her to make a few comments.
Yeah, so our top 8 were really just housed in that respiratory illness category. STD category, sexually transmitted infections, and then tick disease, so Lyme's disease and human anaplasmosis are in those top 8 as well. And so kind of just a general awareness about those top 8 that are that we're seeing in our region, so.
The Lyme's disease, I think, is one that always gives me a moment of pause, right? We have our wooded area. I've had several residents visit with me about Lyme's disease. Essentially, they rule out everything else and it loops back to Lyme's disease, and it can be a real bugger for people. And I mean, there's folks that have been dealing with it for decades, and it's still, has the residual effects. So we see lots of different diseases popping up, but the Lyme's disease always catches my attention.
And as far as ticks go, anecdotally, I have a neighbor on the border of Polk and Red Lake who found a Lone Star tick, which really haven't been found much in our county yet. So he did send that into the state, and that comes with additional tick disease as well. So hopefully that doesn't spread too much.
Yes.
And they are so small.
Yeah.
I had found one last summer, and it just, when I first found it, I was just like, this can't be,
Yeah.
And then realizing that it was, a tick, and I'm just like.
These are only reportable?
This is just a select group where we had cases. There's more.
We took out the ones that had 0.
We took out the ones that had 0. We just did where there was prevalence in Northwest Minnesota. But yes, there's many more.
There was one case in our region.
Okay.
So this is active. Yes.
Latent tuberculosis is not reportable.
And this is 2023?
Yeah.
23, correct. Yes. Yes, and I think the other thing to mention, right, is that these are reportable. There's many cases of influenza. There's other cases that are maybe meet a clinical definition but don't have the applicable lab testing, and so they don't show up in this space.
One thing that kind of caught my eye, because it looks like influenza is so much less than COVID, right? But it's not reportable unless they're hospitalized, so.
Yes. Yes. Any other questions, comments about this?
No, I don't.
Yes.
Go up to the title again.
Yeah.
My computer ain't working, so I can't look it up.
You want me to go up higher?
No, right there. That's what I meant. According to the Minnesota Department of Health.
Yep.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's right here. So we just pulled selected cases based on the Northwest, but you can see for the whole state.
Yes.
You can compare regions. You can see all of them, but it would be very long if we did all of the ones that we didn't have any reportable incidents for.
Oh, this is good.
So how many are on this list?
Total?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a great question.
I'm not sure.
I just clicked on that. and
If
went
I had to
the-
guess, like 6,000 to 7,000, like if we're talking total.
Yeah.
But that's like ballpark.
Reportable communicable diseases, and these are the ones that are reported to the state.
Correct. Yes. Yes, there's very specific criteria for these various diseases. To her point about influenza, it doesn't get reported unless someone's hospitalized, and most people are not hospitalized, and so you wouldn't even see that on here.
But this is not related to the VAERS information.
Correct. No, completely unrelated.
Okay.
Correct. Okay.
Anyone have to
You can be thankful that you don't know what they are, right? Sometimes I'm a little thankful that I don't know the details, right?
This is good.
Yes. Okay, and then the last item is a different subject altogether. This is Inter-County Community Council Head Start. For the last several years, we have a small contract with them to provide a health and nutrition consultant. And they're required federally to have this role, and they have elected to contract this out with us. The service contract is for $69 per hour, which includes salary, fringe, and mileage for the work that's requested. We don't need an annual contract. We could do it multi-year, but they are required to renew it annually as part of their processes. So just looking for a motion to approve renewing the Head Start service contract at a rate of $69 per hour for the requested work.
So move.
Second.
Paul and Warren, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
You do good work. Keep it up, guys.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right. If you have any questions about that video following, let me know.
Right here. It's on there. When I get home with good Wi-Fi.
Right,
I'll watch it.
yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yes, I'll try.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
I don't think I'm at the, requesting to fill it.
You guys, I am so sorry.
Do you want to take a?
Yeah, why don't we take a
We back?
Yep.
Okay, I'm filling in for Levi. He's got some civic responsibilities to fulfill here today. We have an upcoming retirement in the department for a systems analyst 2. And per personnel rules, we come to the board after staff reviews alternatives. And this one's pretty clear cut that we need to replace the outgoing employee who's been excellent, served the county and her fellow employees very well, and we will miss her, but we want to start the process to rehire for the position here before the year ends.
Joanne?
Joanne Johnson.
Yeah. Should be missed.
I will move.
I will second.
And Paul. Any discussion?
When is this retirement?
December 5th.
Oh,
December
okay.
5th.
Oh, I see, it right there in front of me.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
We're waiting for Rachel Klein. You want me to handle my 2 items
Sure.
relatively quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I suppose you don't want to hop into Jake's stuff.
Oh my gosh, his list is long and great. Great, I said.
Takes a very long time.
I'm excited too.
I'm going to go down here to the end of the packet. I'm going to start with number 2, congressionally directed spending project status. This is something that the county submitted on behalf of the West Central Regional Water District over a year ago. It did not make it through congressional funding, but nothing did actually. So the project is up again, and drafted a letter from the board chair to our congressional delegation, who have all noted to us that so far the project is still in the queue. This is for, I don't want to say, it's, what is it? Manganese and arsenic mitigation. Kind of a way of assisting the development of a regional water system to provide healthier, cleaner water to our area. This also would help our 2 counties to the south, but we all share the same senators and representatives. So figure that this should come to the board, and if warranted, the board would approve, and Joan would sign and read it forward.
I will move.
And second,
Paul and Warren. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
So you can see there's many other projects from Minnesota. Tim, I'm going to jump to this button here. I'm going to see if I can get into Questica. And it occurred to me, yes I can. Okay, I'm going to show the board one thing here of what our summary sheet now looks like. The board is used to seeing the horizontal sheet that we've worked with over the past. Questica developed a more vertical report, and be using that. There are some things that we're going to have to add in order to provide explanation as we go on for use of fund balance, capital projects, and so forth. But right now, this is what we have, and just scrolling through all the reports that Stacy has put together. Just to the levy report.
Gracious.
I don't copy this to the board at these meetings until we get down towards the end, because it's a working copy, and there's a long, there's a ways to go here. We're still relatively early, but I just want you to get used to seeing what we're seeing, and she continues to develop Questica and the reporting options. So you'll recall seeing all these things in a horizontal sense. These are all now vertical. So first budget is the Board of Commissioners. Here's the total amounts. You'll be getting a closer view of this in 2 weeks. For 2 days, you'll go through each of these. Just kind of a variety of things. Trying to keep in mind that a lot of the budgets generate their own revenues, so we have both revenues and expenditures there. The difference is really what needs to be levied. She has it broken down by funds.
Oh, beautiful.
Which helps, which, again, no different than what you've seen before. It might be a little bit more detailed than some of the summary amounts that we've seen. And if we go here to the very last one, this is not meant to startle you, but it would suggest a levy of over $34.5 million, which is too high, because this is usually where this stuff starts out, is high like this. And we start culling it out. There's already some things I know are going to change. And there's no fund balance applied to it. There's no real budget changes yet by department. So just for perspective, our levy, left my sheet over here. Our levy for 2025 is just over, it's 28.4 million. So we got a ways to go. Right now, we're just trying to make sure we're accounting for everything, and then we can start making the adjustments and get this thing down. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to call up, I don't know.
Sure you want go this way or this way?
No, I keep clicking on things and then I get new things opened. Trying to see if I've got the draft. Is this all the way down?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go to my own files here. Hopefully I'm connected. Because usually I don't do this until we get to, I don't get to this until we get to our next 2 meetings. Oh gosh, I need to find a file tree here. It may not be connected to my drive.
It doesn't look like you are.
Okay, well then maybe I can just get out of this. Sometimes I can backdoor it through something else, but I don't see anything connected.
Yeah, you'd have to map that drive on that computer.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm ahead a couple of weeks anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But what I've been doing is just working on the preliminary levy options for you. I'd probably be recommending a 5% preliminary levy increase with a target of 3% in the end. That's kind of standard for what we've been doing the past few years. We've got a few things we need to be looking at internally. but we continue to work on it. I see Stacy has been working with Jake and his staff this morning, so she's been a blessing to have here. I'm going to need a little bit of help. Where am I supposed to bring this back, Tim?
Just whatever.
Which one am I on?
You just want the
Whatever it's supposed
board packet?
Yeah. Did I get rid of it somehow? You have to go back to the website.
Oh, we already have the downloaded.
Okay. Any questions on that? We are going to be ready to meet in the boardroom next meeting in 2 weeks. Hopefully, the carpeting project is done by then, and but that is kind of a imperative as far as I'm concerned. And I'll spend 2 days there. We'll have social services in the morning. That is not part of the regular board meeting, so that won't be on the live stream, but the rest of the budgets will the next 2 days.
She's presenting her budget that day?
Yes.
At that meeting?
Yeah, we take advantage of the fact that there's a social services board there, and you get the 2 extra.
Oh, sure.
officers,
Sure.
you know.
Okay.
Since, like, Gary and I met with, the department heads, has there been much change that you know of?
Basically just trying to make sure that we're accounting for everything. And remember, that meeting was my meeting to meet initially with department heads on where they're coming from. There were a couple of things in there that I'll probably be following up with them on. I'll let them speak to it with the board. But as we build this through Questica, we just want to make sure that we're accounting for everything that's levy supportive. And that might be part of the reason why you see the higher levy number there. But not only do you have to account for everything, but you've got to get it to all work in unison as a budget. But we're considering that we've made a software change, we're probably about where we normally are at this time of year.
Yay.
Well,
That's exciting.
still a lot to do. A lot of the heavy lifting starts in late September, October. But I think it'll come together, and it's nice having her catch
Just in
up.
time for hunting.
I don't hunt, but I do follow football. That takes up a lot of my time.
Yep, that's same difference. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anything else?
Nope, it's just in the nick of time.
Okay.
Question, check on, you were talking, social service board meeting next on, is there budget in the morning or after their meeting?
It's in the main morning. We haven't live streamed those meetings in the past, but we could do that for their budget.
My plans are to be there, but my plans were to be there today also.
Yes.
But, I'll do what I can during those 2 days.
Well, that's a
Of course, I
yeah.
have comments, so.
It's a long 2 days, Mark, even, as you've experienced in the past, so would not hesitate to suggest we have you online for the two days.
I'll do what I can.
Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll just set it up as you are going to be online, and then if you show up, it'll be good to see you.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Okay.
I'm lazy. I went to the wrong place. I didn't know it was here.
Really?
Yeah, I showed up and I was like, this isn't right. I'm not saying it wasn't in an email, but I just looked at the time.
You went to
So sorry.
Well, that's, our day's been kind of messed up, so
Okay.
you're just falling right in line.
Perfect. So this, hopefully not add to it, but I'll join.
I have to find you, sorry.
That's okay.
I mean, if you want to add to it, then just,
No, I don't want to. No, thank you. Should just be one page when you get there.
Yeah.
There it is.
There you go. You can just scroll down as you want.
Thank you.
Oops. Hey, what's new with AI? It's not. what we
Oh, there
want.
is an X. Okay.
Jeez,
It's PDF, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mine does that too. Okay, so I'm Rachel from the East Polkista, BC. I think I know you guys. I'm here to present my budget. The only thing kind of different on the budget this year is we have been getting RCPP soil health funds. So that is a federal funding source from NRCS for soil health. So primarily cover crops, no-till. I think there's maybe strip till is on there. But we got our first round of funding for that in August, and so this is something that's going to be around for the next 3 months or 3 years. So, but we got it. So, otherwise everything is pretty much the same. Not much changes. Sometimes numbers tweak slightly. I'm asking for the same amount of the county allocation as I did last year. Otherwise, I do have a small update for you. I'll keep it brief, but. So we are for feedlots, we're in a registration year, so you have to re-register every 4 years. That might be changing to a more frequent thing, but right now it's still 4 years. So we have currently 51 registered feedlots for 2025. 2026 numbers will reflect who registers. Generally, we get everyone to register. Otherwise, for buffers, we only have one violation for 2025. We never really have, there's one that's pending, but pending review. Otherwise, for shoreline restorations, we got 3 projects completed this year, which is really great because we kind of had a lag in those. So we're excited for those to look better and hopefully provide advertisement for us. Our tree program, so we sold more than 2,000 trees than last year. So we had a really good year. We sent out a larger newsletter, so I think that's the reason why we got more trees. Otherwise, for WACA, it's mostly inquiries. I have like 3 violations, but they're still rolling over from previous years. Otherwise, I do keep track of how many contacts we get for WACA, and it's about between 250 and 300 a year, people calling with questions. Yeah, it adds up. Thankfully, though, the questions ahead of time it doesn't make it easier, but it's better than having to fix a violation. So we like that workload versus the backside. And then we did add a new staff member. Her name is Gabby Rodriguez, and she took over our soil health and our water monitoring, which is good because the RCPP, we have to follow federal standards for that. So it's a ton of paperwork primarily. But she's also taken over our...
Not federal stuff isn't a lot of paperwork, is it?
Oh, never. I mean, I thought we had to do a lot of paperwork, and then we got this federal funding, and it's like 15 to 30 pages per contract that they want.
Wow.
We're drowning slightly because it's cover crop season right now, so...
I know I've been thinking about it lately.
I know, usually I would have a typed program update for you guys, but I've been helping her since this funding is new too, so I feel like it's a little it's not rocky, but it's just a learning curve with it. So I've been tackling the admin stuff that I can for her. I don't want to touch the rates and stuff like that, the actual planning. But yeah, and she also took over water monitoring for us. So we do 13 streams, 13 lakes, 5 stream locations. Then we do lake levels on 11 different lakes. That's weekly. Stream monitoring is weekly, lake monitoring is monthly, and then we did have a SWAG grant, which is a surface water assessment grant that did 3 lakes. So it's Cross, Perch, and Spring. So MPCA is kind of who controls what's on the impaired water list. They track all of the data. And so, but it's really cool. We've been seeing some of our data has been helping things come off of the impaired water list. And just getting more current data. A lot of it's over 10 years old. So we work with the watersheds on that. They pay for the lab fees, and then we provide all of the time. And so we kayak, which is a little crazy, but a lot of the accesses aren't super great for a boat. So would a boat be less physical? Yes. But I do think it wouldn't save us any time. And then I'm not a boat mechanic, so if something goes wrong, I can't fix it.
Personal powered.
Yeah.
You're golden.
Right, so it goes okay. I've had to help this year just with vacations and stuff like that usually. And we didn't get an intern this year. So we do usually try for an intern, but it's either 1 million applicants or 0 applicants. So there's no in between. But generally they would help. So yeah, we've been doing that. And then right now with that, the federal RCPP funds, that's an NRCS term and I don't know what it stands for. They have so many acronyms. But we have over $200,000 that in cover crops that could be going in this fall. So it's a lot, but we're excited for that. I'm glad to have that funding source. Otherwise we would be out of soil health money a long time ago. Do you guys have any questions?
I think that the soil health program is really good. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Especially with the winds that we have, it really helps control, the topsoil.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, there's got to be I added it up on Friday, but 20 some people that have signed up our contracts. You can go up to $15,000. The rates all vary slightly, but it's $60 per acre per cover crop, and we follow NRCS rates for that just because it's easiest.
Where is the east and west line?
Roughly Highway 32. I think it's a couple miles, the other 1 or 2, but.
To the west?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say they make kayaks with,
The trolling motors. Yeah. We've looked into that, but I had previous staff have complained about how much I bought kayaks that weighed 5 pounds more.
oh my
I have a
gosh.
farm, so it's got to hit 70 pounds before I start complaining. But yeah, they throw them in and out of the back of a pickup, and we thought.
And you really scoot with them things.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to use so much of your own energy.
Our thing is the weight of the battery for the trolling
Sure.
motor, and then my policy is that no one can go out alone. It's a 2-person thing. So yeah, I've considered getting a big canoe or something, but then how do you haul that? I mean, we do have a small trailer, but it wouldn't haul much. It's a 4-wheeler trailer, so I don't know.
Well, they have, kayak
Yeah.
doubles.
Yeah, oh
And
yeah.
then you put the
Trolling motor.
in between.
Maybe when they wear these kayaks out, we'll upgrade, but I'm kind of frugal, so they don't get anything until it's broken.
And then it's even
I might get new chairs for the break room this year, okay?
yeah,
I have them picked out, I just have to commit to it, but it's
it's.
they're all broken, they're not broken, they just don't quite work properly. But you can sit in them and don't fall out, so.
Sometimes.
There's one that's questionable, but I'm gonna brown one.
Thank you.
You sit on it, it's kind of okay.
They all suck, yeah.
Sounds like you're right up to budget, so that's good.
Yeah.
Any update on Cameron? We're still waiting for contact with the landowner?
Yeah, so Scott wasn't at our last meeting to see if Al had reached out to that landowner or not, but were you on the Clearwater one? No, that was just public work.
Yeah.
So Travis Nelson from Red Lake has like taken it on as a pet project. Nuts. But he has the contact information for that landowner and he won't give it to me. I'd be happy to call him. I don't care what he says. Yes or no is just
Yeah, we
all
just
I
need to
need.
find out.
Yeah, so he's trying to propose it as a project under one watershed, one plan, but there's no resource concerns, so we just need to know, because we would like to get that going.
Yeah, that needs to get done.
But we can't commit $700,000 to $1 million in a restoration if he's gonna then the next year decide he wants the outlet fixed. And then, I mean, the engineers think it would be okay, but that lake is so up and down already, even with before the culverts went. So on this Cameron Lake, there's 2 culverts that outlet on private land, and they washed out. So on imagery, you can clearly see the culverts. And it has caused the lake to drop. But apparently the man that owns the outlets, no one will talk to him or something. I guess I don't know. I have no issues with that.
They're afraid of him.
I guess. I'm not really
Okay.
But I don't care if he wants the outlet fixed or not. So if we wanted the outlet fixed, he would have to sign the DNR permit. The one watershed, one plan could pay for the outlet to be fixed since it's tied to a project. But no one will give me his contact, like his phone number, which I think is unfortunate, but the people that have it won't share it. So we did have a previous board member the guy was working for him and he was gonna bring it up because they thought that would be the best. So yeah, we have a big shoreline restoration that's been designed and is ready to go. The fear is yeah, if we put it in where the current water level is, then the outlet gets fixed and it raises. What if it's primarily riprap? We won't fund riprap unless that is the absolute only way that we can stabilize the shoreline. And because of the way the wind action happens on Cameron, it's undercutting so bad, so rock is what we have to use. But yeah, that's such a big project, I can't have it fail. And so I know it sucks to wait, but beats it failing.
Sure.
And then I think it'll actually benefit because there's a lot like Tanya does a lot with the Clearwater One Watershed One Plan with projects. So I'm hoping when I get to my turn, everyone will maybe have some of their bigger projects out of the way and no one will.
Where's Cameron at?
Erskine.
Erskine, that's the one.
It's one of the most impaired lakes in that watershed.
Yeah, it's
Real nasty.
not good.
But yeah. So our goal would be to fix the erosion and fix like the direct pollutants, and then next step would be looking at like working with the city for a stormwater treatment thing, because all of their drains go right to the lake, and then possibly alum treatments, which is where they spray the bottom of the lake to keep the bottom, all the crap like fixed to the bottom, because right now it's just stirring up constantly. It's mostly internal loading. But we've heard it was a creamery, the dump, like
Yeah, there's been
lots of stories.
I also think that Articat was there at one point too, years ago.
Yeah, I've done some research because I've been trying to get competitive grants, but we're phasing out of competitive grants because of the One Watershed, One Plan money. So the one year that they funded a bunch of stuff like that, I didn't even apply because I was sick. It'd been like 5 years. It's like,
Yeah, so, and like with the riprap, that's the way that you need to go, that's gotta be brought in during the winter time, correct?
yeah, there's been discussions on how it would be installed, because the problem is on Cameron, the houses are so close together that getting large equipment in might not work. Becker County has used a barge with a little mini X on it and done it during the summertime, otherwise possibly hauling the rock in during the winter. It's doable. The barges obviously are going to cost a lot more than just dumping it. But yeah, so I mean, the project will get done, just not this year.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Possibly the year after.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a little while.
But I mean, we're the furthest that it's ever been. I mean, Cameron's always been a problem and no one had a plan, and at least we have the plan. So I know landowners are still really excited and they're frustrated that it hasn't happened, but,
Yeah, but I like the approach of not wanting to fail.
oh man,
Yeah, because it's,
Because you do all of this and then it fails.
that's a
Then-
lot of money.
Yeah, but, and then a lot of ticked off people.
Yep.
yeah.
So if I haven't heard of any updates on that, my board wanted to go with have someone else talk to him that he's familiar with. I just work in customer service, so just give me the phone. The worst he says is no.
But then you know.
Yeah, if you don't want it fixed, fine. Another issue we run into is the elevation. So Cameron, I don't think has like a determined like elevation. So they would have to replace the culverts at the level that they're at. We did think that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife maybe had the records of what the elevation and everything was, but they're not really playing. They don't want to share it, so they don't have to, I guess. Even though I've got an employee who used to work for them, they still wouldn't give it to us, so.
She doesn't have any pull, huh?
Her mom still works
Why
there.
did they play that game?
We think, this is all hypothetical, but we think that they maybe allowed access when the culverts were installed in the 70s. And I think their fear is that they could potentially be requested to provide money, or maybe in the past they did provide money to do the outlet because it feeds directly onto their land. It's just not, the actual outlet's not onto their land. So we're thinking they don't want to get into a, oh, we paid for this once, now you're going to make me pay for it again type of thing. But we're just guessing. Yeah, like I don't need anyone to pay for it. Like, plus accessing.
But if they don't get to talk to you, they're gonna get misconstrued info.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm frustrated with it as well, but I'm thinking this winter, if no one has gotten a hold of him, I'll write him a letter and dig through the phone book. I'll Google the person. I don't super love that, but sometimes you can find a number.
Yeah, okay.
Do a lot of phone books, but
Yeah.
I mean, we met with the city of Erskine. Were you at that meeting? It was a
Yeah.
couple meetings ago, yeah. So
Yeah.
they knew who he was too, and they recommended going through someone he knows. So
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but that's not my decision.
Right.
So
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's.
I just need a yes or no. It's not. I'm not asking. Just let me inform you on what we're doing, and then decide if you want the culverts to remain exposed or be fixed. So.
Yeah.
Because Cameron's already like up and down. It's not like if we fix it, it's going to be level out. Even when the culverts were operational, I mean, it's so flashy with how it goes up and down. Not a lot, but within a foot or so, it'll raise and fall with rainfalls. So
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
working on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks.
Sorry I was late.
That's fine.
Oh, so was I, so.
Yeah, it's been a very disheveled morning.
Because it's the day after a holiday.
Are you going to the Turtle Connection public thing?
Probably not.
Okay.
I got David Olson what he wanted, so
Thank you, Tim.
I might if I have time.
You made it.
They sometimes don't even include me on the emails. So,
Okay.
is it during the day or at night?
No, it's at night.
Oh yeah, I'm not fine.
Yeah, I will not be in town, so.
Yeah.
Thursday night from 5:30 to 7.
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Welcome, Jake.
Morning,
Now,
everyone.
just because you're the last on here now does not mean that you get to drag it out.
Okay, I will try to stay within my time. I got some work to do.
15 minutes.
I got till 11, I think.
That's a misprint.
Okay. So I got several action items, as you're aware. First action item is a conditional use permit for Chad and Stacy Lean, parcel on Maple Lake. It is a riparian parcel. It does touch Maple Lake. It is the former property that the inn at Maple Crossing was on. So they were the ones that purchased that inn, did the deconstruction, I should say, and then kind of resplit the lot up as it exists. They did keep the middle parcel where the majority of the inn was on. built a home in 2024, so last summer they built a home and septic system. They are actually requesting to build a shop and tie that into a sewer system, so they need a conditional use permit. Other things, we did get a few comments on this matter. Maple Lake Improvement District had no issues with the request. Cole Christensen with Woodside Township had contacted our office. He contacted me with some traffic concerns. I don't know that the landowner is willing to do some of the things they were wanting to shave off some of the hillside, and I do have some pictures of that. His property comes up pretty good from the road there, and it's on a curve, and to me, I don't know how it would correct the traffic concern of the township other than possibly maintaining some vegetation within the right-of-way of the road. But actually, that's not even on this particular landowner's property. So it'd be coordinating with the other landowner to trim up some shrubs and do some things. So DNR did comment. I did give Chad Lean, the landowner, Cole Christensen's number so he could contact him to see if there was anything that they could do. But as far as conditions, comments, I don't know what we would have put in there to alleviate any of the township traffic concerns at roads. It's been that way forever. It separates the main part of the lake to another bay on Maple through culverts. It just is going to wind there. There's nothing really that can be done. Stephanie Clam, DNR area hydrologist, sent her kind of boilerplate letter, other than there were some more languages regarding setbacks. And so the site has been flagged. Met the landowner there probably 3 weeks ago. We flagged off the shed portion and septic and made sure everything was going to fit setbacks. So should be all good there. Some pictures of this particular request, so I'll kind of show you this is that kind of wind in Maple Inn Road southeast. This is the connection here via culverts. This is the main part of Maple Lake, and then this is a back bay area on Maple. A zoomed out pictures, or zoomed in picture, I should say, without all that blue. So the building actually got adjusted a little bit. It sits kind of more in the center of this cul-de-sac here. I'll say a cul-de-sac. It really just is the entrance into, there's a house on the property and a septic system located here. So septic would be in between the road, building. One of the concerns with the township was, is it 40 feet off the edge of the road or is it 40 feet off the property lot line? It is 40 off the property lot line. That makes it approximately 60, 65 feet off the edge of the road. So that was a big thing too, is they didn't really know where our setbacks were, because we're getting, some pictures in here. This is a septic design. They don't really care about those setbacks. We got that all figured out. So pictures of the site. This is that site. So his property lot line is really halfway up the hill. So there's quite a buffer there, and then we're 40 feet in from that. Edge of the building would be sitting roughly where the county pickup's sitting in here. Septic would be planned then in between the shop and then the property lot line here. So, and then this is that vegetation I was talking about. This is the property lot line Mr. Lean owns to my right and behind me. This is actually a different property owner that, I'm all for trees, but it looks like they could trim out some of these closer to the road, probably a restricted view more than any type of hillside. So with that, I do have a resolution for approval. Planning Commission recommended approval too, with several conditions. One of those being no guest house uses. Applicant shall have furnished evidence or recording and the signed no guest house waiver. No future development that would exceed 25% impervious. Conditional use shall become void 1 year after it was granted unless used. And then I'll waive from reading the kind of our standard 6 conditions unless somebody would like me to read them. So like I said, I have a resolution for approval of the conditional use with those conditions.
I so move.
Paul?
Second.
Second by Warren. Any discussion? Opposed? Carried.
Okay, thank you. Next one is a plat. I'll hand out the map here that was included with the board staff report. So this particular plat is actually looking at splitting a property that's on a private road just south of the Fertile Golf Course. Applicant is Aaron Swemby. Preliminary plat is Chalet Estates. One thing about this is being it's on a private roadway, I'm gonna pass these out. Paul, if you could grab one and pass those down. There is no right-of-way coming in, so condensing this down, we do have a lot of things that in play here, but really the need for the plat is driven by how many times this parcel's historically been split. This parcel has been split over 13 times. All these parcels and properties, the 5 homesteads that are along the golf course lane, were all derived from the same parcel, as were several parcels to the south and even to the east. So it all was one huge tract of land. It's been split and allowed to split, then split. The thing is that without that roadway, it's just a private road coming in. It's been maintained by those people that live along it forever. If they need help, they call the township, they'll blade it, they pay assessment back into the township, pay them to maintain the road. So with that, there is an existing homestead that they're looking at securing for financing, and they can't have it over 5 acres. The banks really don't want large tracts of land that they're financing on. We get this a lot with splitting. Typically, it doesn't require platting. There are some outs with us not needing to go through the platting process, but without that roadway and without the stuff that we had and all the splits that have occurred before, it has to go through the preliminary plat process. So it is looking at subdividing off the homestead. Where there's a green dot on my map here is actually the existing homestead on the property. Ray and Sylvia Nelson actually own that. Mr. Swemby has a purchase agreement in to purchase the property, kind of pending that the homestead can get split off. It would create this right-of-way, and there's a better map attached with right in front of you and is in the report as well. So the plan would be is to create a cul-de-sac if they are going to split this and have another homestead that would access in there too. So it would provide then the ordinance standards for roadway frontage and then allow the homestead to be split off. Few other things, and I know this map is pretty busy. You have the river, the Sandhill River, flowing right on the north side of the property. It does create a floodplain district. This is the current floodplain map, and it is very poorly mapped in the Sandhill watershed, and so it's one of the ones that really tripped all our maps up is the Sandhill watershed. This is a map from 1983. It doesn't even really follow the water course. You can see there's portions of the river that aren't even in. Because of really what maps are available, the old floodplain maps are simply just shaded areas. And these rivers meander, they move. You can see that on the landscape, old oxbows, all these things that rivers do over the course of years. These are 1983 maps. There's no way that they can be up to date with all the projects that have been done in the Sandhill Watershed District. Those maps in 2014, when we were trying to get new floodplain maps, they stalled out, and really the reason there was so many errors in the Sandhill and over by East Grand Forks and Crookston, tying in all those floodplains. So it's incorrectly mapped. They are going through the LOMA process. The homestead is out of the floodplain as shown, but on their maps, our paper maps, it actually is in. So they have started that process. It's frustrating. You got to spend money to prove something that they know. When you get on the site, you can tell it is out, but it's lending institutions for you. This is the drive-in to that existing homestead. This is that area that would create a cul-de-sac area for if you wanted to build a future home back here. It's roughly, 18 some acres currently, that would be subdivided into a 4.1 acre tract and a 13.56 acre tract. The 4 acre tract would be with the homestead here, the existing homestead.
With the
Ray and
existing
Sylvia Nelson. And again, the idea and why we need to do the plat is to get that on its own parcel for financing.
Under 5 acres.
Typically, they like it under 5 acres. Most lending institutions feel a little more comfortable with 5 than 18. So yeah, that's really the driving need, is to get this on its own parcel, and being it's been split 13 times before. They'll work through the LOMA process. That is something that's done through FEMA. One thing that we've also discussed, and Rachel was involved, Rachel Klein, who was just in front of me at the board here, is the wetland areas have not been delineated. They are really just to spell out on the map, these are wetland areas. They need to be site verified. So the Planning Commission and staff recommended approving the preliminary plat with some language added that wetland areas are just spelled out, that we use the NWI maps, which is a national wetland inventory map, to basically determine wetland boundaries. Those exact wetland boundaries will need to be site verified if there's any future development. If we issue a permit on a house, we want to make sure it's not in the wetland area, which is a no-brainer anyway, a part of our process. The final plat should contain and must contain the ordinary high water level for Sandhill River, as well as the 100-year floodplain with contours easily visible, and that base flood elevation. All those things are on here, but I'm working with Widseth to clean this up a little bit so it's not so busy. There's layers in there from the old floodplain, there's layers in there from the new. We'll get that all cleaned up. That LOMA might dictate how those boundaries look.
Sure.
If the developer disturbs more than 1 acre property, they need to get a SWIP permit, MPCA, and any land disturbance on steep slopes will require erosion control, so that no runoff enters the Sandhill River. And then if they are going to do covenants, it doesn't sound like they want to have any type of special rules with this plat. It's so basic and simple. But any covenants would just need to be reviewed by the county before final approval. Plat development restrictions must include language that the proposed buildable lots meet our floodplain regulations. So I'm not going to read that whole section there, but there are standards in there that roads need to be built to certain elevations within the floodplain. No building permits shall be issued within the plat until final plat approval, as well as no property within the platted area can be sold before the final plat is recorded. Within 6 months, they must submit a final plat. So basically the thing is we're going to get this cleaned up. You'll be seeing it very shortly, because this is kind of a short list of things to do before final plat approval. But today, just seeking preliminary plat approval for Chalet Estates to create 2 parcels out of that one existing parcel, 28-25402.
So move.
Question, Mr. Snyder. You indicated earlier in the presentation, this Chalet Estate is in the floodplain?
There is floodplain within the platted area, and currently it's mapped so poorly that the homestead is actually mapped in the floodplain. So Mr. Swemby is actually going through a LOMA process, which is a letter of map revision or amendment. And basically they're going to remove the area around the house from the floodplain. And the elevations prove that it is out. So
I appreciate that. In my district, people have been forced to do the LOMA first and then get the flood or the building permit. And I got a lot of questions with this development going forward, because at the end of the floodplain, whenever the DNR comes property should be completed first to see if it's even possible to get the LOMA. And secondly, the preliminary needs to be postponed until such time that there's pretty good determination from the DNR that this property, proposed property, is a floodplain. Up in my district, it's a problem with floodplain, and it's getting to be a real problem all over the place. And the county, in my opinion, is approving some and making others jump through certain hoops. And that's from even personal experience.
The one thing that is a lot different in this particular watershed is the elevation changes quite drastically, not like the Red River Valley. We're not talking that the house is a couple feet out of the floodplain. It's so poorly mapped, it's over 10 feet out of the floodplain.
And I appreciate that, Mr. Snyder, but it's still in the floodplain as of this date. And many people are denied building permits in my district because of being very close to the floodplain. And they either have to do a LOMA prior or give up on the project.
And that would be the case if it wasn't an existing homestead. The discovery of them being in the floodplain was really just a part of our process of preparing the plat.
What year was the home built?
I would say, I don't have that exact date, but I would say it predates the ordinance. At least the floodplain section of our ordinance that had a major overhaul done in the 90s. But I'm good either way. I just.
Was it built prior to the floodplain map? That's my question.
I can't verify that it was built before 1983, the effective map, but I can attest to how poorly mapped this particular area is.
And it's poorly mapped in my district. Also, people are in the floodplain and they never have water on their property. And Mr. Snyder, this is dear and near to my heart in my district, and why people of certain parts of the county are treated one way and others are treated differently is disgusting.
Well, your district is really what I would describe as pouring waffle batter into a waffle iron. And we've had this discussion that water flows off your district so poorly. All the ditches, everything that's been manipulated even since '83 does change how water flows everywhere in the county. You are correct.
I understand that, like you said, you and I have discussed that a lot previously. And I'm tired of certain properties getting approval prior to jumping through the hoops of my district first. And this property should be loaned before the preliminary plot approval.
And I'm fine with that, but the one thing is the Loma process, once it's in FEMA's hands, is very, a moving target. So, you know, it's totally up to the board if that's the direction you want to go, but things can get hung up in FEMA for quite a while. But the one thing I would say is we would be holding any type of building permit until Loma would be received. There is no building permit tied to any of this. It's just splitting off that existing homestead onto its own parcel. They're not looking at doing any type of building within this development. It's simply for a financial lending institution to pick up the loan. They would like to see it less than 18 some odd acres. So there isn't any building activity going on, but I do heed your concerns for the floodplain. We do need to be cautious until we would get that Loma from FEMA.
And I appreciate everything, and I believe you're getting hoodwinked by the lending institution, because at the end of the discussion, when the new floodplain map comes out, if that property is so many feet over or under the Loma, it could be eligible and required to pay flood insurance. And that's a caveat that is going on up in my district a lot. And this, I understand the urgency to get it done, but I urge a no vote on this until the Loma is finalized, to see if that home even is eligible under the proposed and current 1983 mapping. And that has been used in other building permits analysis.
But Commissioner Holy, would you feel more comfortable if we received a certificate of elevation on the existing homestead that is from Houston Engineering, who prepared the Loma, that verifies they are above the base flood elevation, just as anybody that was building in the floodplain would be required to do? That's what I would recommend we add to a condition, that we receive a certificate of elevation that says the lowest floor of the structure is X height, and the base flood elevation is that 1076, right? 6.2. That would satisfy, and we can add that as a preliminary plat condition, that we receive that in-house to verify that that homestead is built to the regulatory flood protection elevations.
And you're going to include verbiage to the proposed elevation?
There's no proposed, it's an existing house, and so we would just have the Houston Engineering provide us with the lowest floor data that they would have needed for that Loma. The only thing I included in the packet was just this map that I received from Houston Engineering, that they're showing where the floodplain is and where the house is, and it's just the map that went along with the Loma documents. But I would have them file and put language as a condition that a certificate of elevation on the existing homestead is filed. That is our verification, that is proof when anybody in the floodplain would want to build a grain bin, a home, we would need at a minimum a certificate of elevation. We do that because that's easy evaluation for our staff, whereas a Loma gets tied up in FEMA for 3 to 4 months.
I want to add,
I'll give you majority of that, but it has to be the final approval of the LOMA, which you indicated can take 3 to 4 months. I've gone through that process, as a lot of others in my district also have gone through that process prior to building permits.
okay, let me add something. I understand where you're coming from, Mark. I understand the process you guys are struggling with in your district. I understand all of that. But like,
Jake,
Mr. Snyder states that we're not building a building project here. You were correct that the bank is hoodwinking these people into providing whatever. Previously, when Jake brings forth stuff previously, I was informed that if we oppose something that they have approved, then that provides us and puts us in a situation as which we could be held liable. Correct me if I'm wrong, because this was a year or two ago we went through this. So anytime Mr. Snyder brings anything in, we can object all we want. We're not providing a building. We're not giving a building permit. There's an existing building. They're trying to get a loan for this place, from what I understand. And I agree we should send it through the LOMA process and all of that stuff, but they're breaking this system down apparently, so that with this existing house, which has been there way before I moved there. I moved there in '93. That house was at least 20 years old when I moved there. So we could get that information, of course, and prove that this house is there way before these maps existed. But that's not what we're here for today on this one. We're asking for preliminary so we can break this down, so he can get this family or whatever can get the loan. I don't want to break the rules, and I don't want to give anybody any eligibility to go forth from the county's point of view to surpass the LOMA stuff. We're not agreeing to another new building. We're breaking this. Yeah, we're breaking the property down into 2 spots. And I was told before that if we don't go with their approval, we could pose this board could be held responsible for that.
We have to have a legitimate reason
And I
to
can
deny.
appreciate that, but all the people who have been denied building permits or occupancy or whatever based on floodplain elevation, and I personally had to get my LOMA approved first before I applied for a variance in 2015. And that was done way prior to LOMA. And other people are in the same position in my district. And I understand, Paul, your concerns. Sometime after the 79 flood, these maps were designed and so forth and so on, and the house was built either in the floodplain or according to the information at that time or prior under the flood elevation. But it doesn't change the fact, currently, it's in the flood plain. Now, if it's overly close to the LOMA elevation, yes, map revision can happen, but to approve
presented, what if the Loma takes upwards of a year to complete? Then the whole process is up in arms. And that's my concern. If the Loma can get done in a fine, timely manner, and everything is okay with the Loma, I'm on board approving. But many people in my district have had to spend buku dollars raising elevations, so forth and so on. And you can say all you want, it's a different type of flooding. The base principle in all of this is the floodplain map as it sits today. And Mr. Snyder and I have spoken very nicely about the revisions and so forth and so on. The new proposed, Jake, you were to give us an update 3-4 months ago. I posed a question. Where is the new discussion with the DNR on the new proposed elevation? And that's something else. Norman County, Marshall County, Red Lake County, all the counties around Polk County have approved their flood elevation mapping. And for whatever reason, Polk County sits here on their fingers and does nothing. And in this case, like Mr. Snyder states, this property, for the most part, could be out of the floodplain. I understand that, as could others in my district, but until that map is approved, it affects Warren's district, Gary's district, and even your district, Paul, based on the 1983 mapping.
And I agree with everything you said. The update is that the consultants are still trying to figure out the question that has been in all of our minds. Why did the 2014 map revisions not get finalized? One of the questions that I did get answered was the Sand Hill Watershed District was so poorly done, old map and new map. They modeled it as the sands around Fertile being just like the silts in the valley, which they are not. They're different soil type, their water flow is different. It hits the Red River Valley and it stops. And all roads in the Red River Valley stop water. There could be a culvert that ice affects everything differently in the Red River Valley. I guess recommending moving forward, Mr. Holy, would be to do and require the same information on file on that existing house that I believe predates the ordinance too, that we receive a certificate of elevation filed on that existing homestead to prove that it meets the RFPE, which are the building standards set forth today. And if it does, then we move forward with final plat approval. I guess that is my recommendation, that the board consider adding another condition, move forward with the preliminary until we get that data. It would be the same thing as you wanting a permit for a grain bin in the floodplain. All I need is the certificate elevation that tells me you are planning and you are going to build it to that standard. The only difference is this is going to be a final certificate and not preliminary. The house is sitting there. The house is at its elevation. There is no changing that. So that's what I recommend the board consider adding that condition. It's just like we'd be issuing them a permit for anything right now.
I agree. Yeah, I'll make that motion to that.
It would be, that the planning and zoning office receive a certificate of elevation filed on the existing homestead to prove the house meets the RFPE standards of the zoning ordinance. The RFPE is the regulatory flood protection standards.
Yeah, okay.
That is the 1.5 feet above the base flood elevation.
We're having a discussion about a second.
And if it currently.
It needs to be a second, Commissioner Holy.
Information
I'll second
should have
it.
been
Second
provided.
by Warren.
Now we can do discussion.
I'm sorry,
Now we can discuss.
this is not rocket science. It should have been included in the preliminary. I think we're pinning the tail on the donkey before the donkey has been drawn in this particular case.
The preliminary floodplain elevations are on the survey, Mr. Holy. It's this little lobe right here. That is the elevation that the Sandhill River will flood, as well as this area following the river. The current maps, this is that same contour. The current maps have a big blob that goes right here. And don't include portions of the Sandhill River in it. That's how poorly mapped it is.
And I've lost your presentation on this computer. Go ahead, I'm sorry for yelling, but my voice is very weak and I have to express myself in a certain way. And I apologize.
You're good.
No worries. I recommend we add that condition that we would do the same thing like a building permit. It proved that the house is out to us. Houston Engineering should be able to fill that out in a day. We should be able to get that within a week.
There's already a motion. Madam Chair. Sam knows when the house
I'll
was built.
call the question.
Just
We're
hang
not
on.
calling a question. The chairman runs the meeting. Sam, what year was the house?
So the original basement house was built in the 1950s. There was a permit for the main floor house and the garage taken out in 79 when the house was started. Then over the next decade, it was finished off. And then a garage finally added in 89 on the assessment notes.
So it's been,
A long time.
Since the 50s, it was the basement house.
80 years.
Second point, there's 4 of you. If the board thinks that this may not pass as per the motion, I would recommend referring it to the county attorney for review of the process. We're going to be very careful, I think, to Paul's point about denying somebody a right that they have towards a preliminary plat, not the questions, the issues that Commissioner Hoyle is bringing up.
yeah, exactly. So like, I just have one question, and I don't know if you can answer this or not, but like, the home, is it currently considered in the floodplain? I mean, are they having to require flood insurance?
No, it'll be out as shown. That's the LOMA, the preliminary LOMA that it's already been sent to FEMA. That it's out as shown. It's not, there's not a question on if it is or isn't in the floodplain. It is out. It's just not out of the map.
Right.
And that's where the frustration about all floodplains are, is the first question that needs to be answered, is the map right? Anywhere,
Right.
any district. Is the floodplain map right? Because it's from 1983. And how many water projects have went on from 1983 to now? A lot.
Yeah.
Sandhill Watershed District, very aggressive in their projects. They do boots on the ground projects every year. So we have a lot of different issues going on that really don't factor into this particular action item. The floodplain stuff is frustrating because you work with FEMA, you work with the Minnesota DNR. That's a different beast and conversation altogether.
Yeah, so. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, so all of those in favor of the preliminary plat, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, it passes 3-1.
Okay, moving on. Okay, next action item is actually another patch in the concrete project that we have out at the transfer station here, just east of our building. We did a concrete pad over there to fix a bad area about 3 weeks ago. About a week away from pulling the cones away from it and having our loader drive over it and whatever, we're just being a little more cautious than we normally would. They said it was good within a week, but we were gonna wait 3 to 4 weeks. So I have another quote in from JD Concrete Repair, Asphalt in Crookston, and having the, right in front of the compost tipping area again. I do have a map of the one we did and the one we are planning here. So the one we did is the blue area, and the one we're planning is the red area here. We will be able to squeeze by traffic in here and repair all this damaged area. And when you leave the meeting today, you can go take a drive over there if you'd like, and it's all potholed all the way along. This will tie into nice concrete we have when we did the transfer station. This is all old asphalt that's been overlaid and overlaid and overlaid. We do have some nice concrete that's right adjacent to our phase 1 project. Phase 2 would just be to the south. And the plan would be is to get to this area in the next few years, where that's the division where water flows north and water flows south, if you can see on the map here, this little area here. So trying to set that elevation, we still get flows to the north there, and then not have our total compost area or our tipping area be out of commission. So we're gonna try to funnel traffic around and get people so they can still have services. But it will bottleneck right here for probably about 3 weeks. Not ideal timing, but I was hoping we could get the project done before freeze up. Should be 3 to 4 weeks to be able to get here and pour. So looking for a motion on, it is a budgeted item. We've been anticipating doing a lot of concrete work in the next few years. $21,740 is the bid I received from JD Concrete LLC of Crookston to repair that asphalt area.
Okay. So I need a motion.
I'll move it.
Okay, Warren,
Second.
second by Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next action item is actually terminating a resolution that was filed for a conditional use shed tied to septic. That was done in 2009. This particular project was Arnie Parodies. He sent us a letter that he has plans to do living space within. The parcel is buildable. At the time, it was just a shop. He's looking at putting living quarters in it, and then that being the dwelling for this particular site. Prior, through the conditional use, this was a shop with a septic, plans to possibly do a homestead on the property somewhere else, but has since sent us a letter stating that they want to actually renovate the shop. So really just a formality thing that it isn't breaking the rules to do that. We would issue a change of use permit application to turn the shed into a dwelling as this parcel is buildable, and terminate that resolution that former states you can do this X, Y, and Z. So that's the request, is to terminate resolution 2009-7-47. That was for Arnold Parodies, and to actually be able to issue that change of use permit.
So move. And, well, I'm sorry.
Second.
Okay, motion by Paul, second by Warren.
Is there two parts to this? Or is it all in one?
Nope, it's all one
Yeah, that's what I
motion.
thought. Okay,
The actual permit itself would just need to be signed by me.
Okay.
But I have a resolution here in front that basically just states terminating and why we're terminating it.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next action item I have is a appointee to the Board of Adjustment. Our last meeting that we had in August 22nd, we were told that Mr. Powers will be stepping down from the Board of Adjustment and the Planning Commission due to health reasons. Mike had been on the board for 12 plus years, and so it was, news to me. He did call me ahead of time, requested a giant plaque, but I kind of had to tell him, you got to call me prior to Tuesday when we're having a Friday meeting. But we did have a cake. But Mr. Powers is the representative for Mr. Strandell to serve on that Board of Adjustment. I did ask Len Bonosic, who is the representative on the Planning Commission for Mr. Strandell, if he would like to take that seat that would be open on our Board of Adjustment. Len has been for 2.5 years. He's served as an alternate on our Board of Adjustment. So if we have somebody that's gone, Len can jump over and be on the board. We also have another alternate, Arlette Phillips, who could step over now. So I don't know if Len has reached out to you at all, Warren, but he accepted if you are wanting him to serve on your Board of Adjustment.
That would be great.
Okay. I figured I'd save you a call and save you some time.
I see him on occasion and
Yeah.
not talk, but
Okay.
So just need a motion for that.
Need a
I
motion?
move.
Okay, Warren,
Second.
second by Paul. Any discussion?
only question there was, Mr. Powers was the appointment of the mayor of East Grand Forks, not me.
He was for the Planning Commission, yes.
Oh, okay.
Len was your Planning Commission representative on our Planning Commission. Yep. So it actually, we will get somebody new on our Planning Commission assigned by the city of East Grand Forks. Mike was just kind of this dueling piano, that he was appointed by the city and by a commissioner.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
next one, action item would be a resolution to revocate a conditional use permit for the convenience store that was issued just west of UMC, parcel number 49.00057.02. We did not satisfy, we have not gotten anything for any plans for the septic system. No blade of grass has been disturbed on that entire site. We issued that conditional use in 2023. We did have action by our Planning Commission for a 1-year extension, which we typically do, as long as they're still wanting to do the project. But it's been 2 years now. I sent them a letter that the Planning Commission recommended that they go through the conditional use process and then have this revoked. I have not heard. It's been almost 90 days since I sent them the letter. So I have in front of you a resolution to revocate that conditional use permit due to, no building sewer permit plans ever filed with us, no action on the conditional use whatsoever.
Is that
And
Mr. Reitmeyer?
Yes, John Reitmeyer, here's a copy of my letter I sent the end of May after that meeting stating, please contact me. Nobody's made contact, so.
Yeah, I make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
And Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Our last action item, I can't believe it, we've made it.
You're over time.
I'm sorry. The only thing I wanted to bring up is some updates, GIS updates from Mr. Moe, Steve Moe, our GIS coordinator. He went to that conference in San Diego, California, July 14th through 18th. He wanted to just have me share with you some of the things. Steve's created a new interactive map. If you go on to this particular part of the staff report, you should be able to click this link. It is a brand new map viewer, has a lot more layers on it. We get a lot of calls about zoning districts or these types of things. It's something where we had a meeting with Tim and Levi, kind of picking their brains on how better to incorporate GIS into our website, promote that. He's been doing a great job on as our GIS coordinator, and this is really proof to Steve and how good he is at his job. It's always been that, you know, GIS was always on its standalone. Steve's trying to get that, bridge the gap in between IT and him, and working together to kind of make sure that our GIS needs are met. He's very capable of doing his job. I very rarely need to tell Steve what to do, so. But he is working also, a side note, with our assessor's office, trying to get them some tools to do some farmland rates, and making sure they're double checking a lot of different things and tying in NRCS acreages and all kinds of different things that GIS can help their department with as well. So just wanted to bring it to the board. That link is on there. Promote that. There's a new map viewer. It is lightning fast. You can open it on any type of mobile device. The old one was having issues with any type of mobile, even on laptops. This one should be streamlined and better serve anybody using our web GIS services. So,
Mr. Snyder, does the county have the same or amended disclaimer on that viewer?
Yeah.
yes, that it is just a tool. Yes, we do. Now, if anybody reads it, that I can't verify that. But yeah, no, it is just a tool, and that's a good reminder that it is what it is. It's a tool. It's not gospel.
I think one of the things that should be done on that disclaimer is you agree to read, or at least acknowledge the disclaimer to enter the portal.
Yes, and I will discuss that with Steve and see if he's capable of doing that. I don't know why he wouldn't be. And he could reach out to Levi or Tim if he had any issues with having some type of, you're just thinking scroll down and hit OK and that, Mark?
Yeah, acknowledge or whatever.
Yeah, before you can look at it.
It's very common in a lot of websites when you read the disclaimer to factual, or what's the word I'm looking for, information that potentially could not be overly factual, that you agree to the terms and conditions as stated.
Duly noted.
And again, Mr. Snyder, I'm sorry for my voice forfeit. I'm getting very tired, and I wanted to be on during that segment on the preliminary plot, so I'm sorry again.
No worries, Mr. Holy. I get yelled at a lot.
All right, I'll reserve the right to do it again.
You got it. Permission granted.
Just as a note, there is a disclaimer notice on here.
Oh, there is?
Do you have to go down and click?
Yeah, you have to.
Right on the website, it comes up with a disclaimer, you have to hit click OK.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
so
already
on
in
there?
place.
Okay,
But
Unless
still
you not
doesn't-
show this again, but it is there in the initial.
okay.
Yeah, but it still doesn't guarantee that people read it.
No,
Oh, you can't move forward without
It's
it.
them acknowledging that they've seen it.
I knew there was a prompt that came up, but I didn't know that you had to click and then you get into the portal or the map
Yeah, 'cause
viewer.
I just did it now, so.
I have the full version GIS. Rarely do I use the online services with the things I'm tracking on mine.
Yeah, yeah.
And Steve makes sure that mine is fluid and working, so.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Jake. We still have a forum to do yet. Mark, do you have anything? This is all.
No, not at this time.
Okay. Paul?
Just two things. The West Central meeting was, once again, very good, I thought. I still wish we could move forward a little quicker with East Polk, but that will just take what it takes.
Marshall Polk.
Marshall Polk, yep. Marshall Polk, yep. And then, just an update, there's, we went through the interview process for the nursing home administrator, and that's coming along. And we'll be meeting soon, so that's fun news in the city of Fertile. I think that's all I got.
Okay. Warren?
MPO, we did approve hiring of Ben Areth, E-H-R-E-T-H, as the new executive director of the MPO. He's from, he went to school at UND and was working at Denmark. He has a master's degree from Kansas State, so he will be taking over. There will be an overlap between him and Stephanie Alford. She will be there right through September 19th, so there's about a 4-day overlap. Exchange of information to be done then. And, all right, then on the West Central issue, we're planning a meeting with Marshall Polk on September 17th, and I have a triple conflict that day. The MPO meeting will start at 7 a.m., I have a board meeting at 8, and then I have MPO at noon. So I was thinking, you guys, if it worked out, I could go to the MPO or to the watershed meeting, set up, and try to deal with that subject right away, and then come back, and then be at the board meeting by 9, 10 o'clock, whatever it would be, if that will work. And then I would skip my MPO meeting on that day. But that's kind of my plan, if it works out with the board.
If we have enough.
I'm here no matter what, you guys.
We'll be here, I'll be here.
Yeah, we need 3, so.
Gary will be back.
I hope so.
And then Mark will be online. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna plan. If something changes or needs to change, let me know. But that's enough for me. I have,
They did,
I like a week.
yeah, I was just gonna tell you about, Tri Valley. That was another short and sweet, great meeting. It went well. There wasn't a whole lot there. They're still in the search. And they went through a lot of finances on all of these townhomes and stuff. So it was good and nice, brief. Everybody got their stuff. It was pretty good.
Okay. Okay, I'll try to keep mine short here. I had household hazardous waste, and our main thing was we approved our budget for 2026. For 25, their wages, because our director for HHW is considered an employee of Clearwater County. They had a 10% increase on their salaries for 25, and 26 is an 8% plus 50 cents. And then 27 is a 7%. So they're, trying to really do some catch up. And they're estimating that their health insurance will be maybe an 8% increase, so. And then I was in Hastings. We had the AMC Board of Directors retreat. we also do strategic planning, and so we spent a lot of time looking at what we have listed as our priorities and whether, they're still pertinent or do they need to be changed. And then we kind of started looking at things of being, whether it's like internal that just affects things going on, within like the building itself kind of, and then the external that involves the counties more. And, it's always a good, meeting, but it does get to be long. And then at our regular board meeting, we approved a couple, one is actually a hiring for another accounting position, because we had updated the software, accounting software there, which Janine, our new accountant, that's been an awful lot of work for her. And then plus we do accounting and some office things for 12 of our associates. So that gets to be, it's actually too much for her. So we decided to okay it for another accounting position. And then also, since Matt Freeman resigned from the for doing HHS and MAXA, because actually he was a hire of MAXA, and MAXA has not, they're probably, I think this week now, they were putting out the ad, for that position. But kind of in the meantime of contracting with someone to do the things that he was doing, like for AMC, it would just be a temporary position. But then also that, because one of our, I don't remember which one it is, one of the AMC staff will be retiring next year. So then kind of, piggybacking kind of with that retirement and stuff too. And then I had the productive alternatives, which is that our DAC had merged with. So they're actually going to sign on and consultant in regards to human resources, because like with all the ESST and like the family leave, all that stuff coming up, that they want to make sure that they're doing it correctly, and it's just so many things that are changing. And then I had a meeting for AMC Solid Waste. There are the 4 different presentations that we're doing at the policy conference in Alexandria this month. And I am part of that panel, so just kind of going over what, each person that's presenting, what they should highlight. And so I need to, get in contact with John a little bit more and getting some slides and stuff of kind of our, facilities and things to show during the presentation. And that's all I think I had. So, anything else you have, Chuck?
Nothing else. Just a couple of you are going to the AMC Policy Conference next week, and Alex, so I'll be there. A few of us will be out of the office, out of the county for a few days. So Solid Waste Advisory Board on Wednesday. You know,
Yep.
At the transfer station, or the building next to the transfer station.
Yes, I'll be there. That's in my thing
You know where
too.
that is?
Yeah, I know exactly where it is. I was there this morning. Freaking stupid. Cannot believe it.
Well, and then also too, I've been asked to participate on a panel at the annual meeting in December in regards to, mental health with the AMC work group that I was on, so got those couple things.
Nothing like county business. We spread the gamut to human affairs.